Well, hello everyone, Fujosevich here. Welcome to some Hearthstone Hybrid Hunter in the first week of Journey to Ungoro. As it looks like we have ourselves some sort of a handlock, which could honestly be an okay thing considering this deck is one of the most, I don't want to say basic, I don't want to say simple, it's definitely not the cheapest deck available. But it is one of the more straightforward, I believe is fair to say. Now we have options of adapting, which is super powerful, but I believe that is going to be a pretty good play. To continue to punch face, we're going against Handlock, and as Hunter, that means we have lots and lots of options for trying to kill our opponent really quickly. Shadow Bolt is pretty good for us. I think next turn we'll try and throw down the Tundra Rhino, I should say. So as we can see, there are lots of consistencies in this deck. 2 Savannah Highmanes, 2 Tundra Rhinos, 2 Infested Wolf, Houndmasters, Kill Commands. All sorts of big things like that. Which, to be honest, are completely fine. And now look at this. If Tundra Rhino sticks and you get a Savannah Himane, I don't want to say that you just instantly win. But you kind of just instantly win. Because we're going to be able to trade these off very efficiently. And then continue pushing face damage to the point where our opponent is now kind of worried that we're just going to top deck some kill commands and be able to burn them out. And we haven't even used the hero power once in this entire game. And our opponent's still at 14. And we have more chargers. And we're going to be able to probably adapt whatever. I mean, we're going to be able to adapt a whole bunch of stuff. And one of the really cool cards in this deck is in fact Dinomancy. And that is completely fine. 6 damage. We have so many options available to us. Let's see what is best. I think Taunt and Poisonous is going to be best. So that's going to be 2 of our mana. Let's see if we can find a lethal. This is 2, 4, 5. This is 6, 7. So this is now 4 mana. Let's go with the Animal Companion. See what we get. A 4/4 Charger is pretty good. And I think we just punch face because there is no Reno anymore to be saving our opponent, and we're able to take him out very, very quickly. This matchup is generally going to be favored for the Hunter because of our hero powers kind of work in our favor to kill our opponent very, very quickly. And queuing into a Druid right now, that does not appear to be any sort of, any sort of a quest Druid, as they did mulligan their first card. There is a chance that this is just Jades, which I think we should do well against, because we do have, and they're going to cycle, so we don't really, that doesn't tell us anything. Wrath is in every Druid deck ever. And if they start ramping now, again, that tells us nothing, because again, those cards are in every single Druid deck ever. So we're going to adapt now, basically, for the power. +3 attack, +3 health, can't be targeted. We're going to go +3 attack and punch face a little bit here. This is going to demand some sort of removal, and since our opponent just played their Wrath, and there's no more living roots, pretty good result. We have a bunch of options available to us right now. We could go Animal Companion. The issue is then that the best result is still only 33%, with Chard giving us a Charger. We could try and adapt again. Obviously, we need to save Unleash for something bigger. There are a few adapts that are pretty good here, I think. I guess Poisonous is what we're stuck doing, unfortunately. But we are going to continue to give ourselves a little bit of juice here with the random minion. Hey, and we're seeing the Stubborn Gastropod one more time, which is kind of cool. Mire Keeper, we could do some work here now, that's for sure. I think we're going to go with the stickier minion, trade off. Or should we go for a little bit of power here? No, let's go for something that we know is going to stick on board. We're still going to be able to punch 4 to face, which is nice. And I think at this point, we're basically switching completely to just racing face. Unless, of course, our opponent just plays some taunt that we can kill command in. Like that. So now, unfortunately, we don't have a 5 plus a 2. So that makes us a little bit sad. I think we're going to coin out the Animal Companion, because 2 results are actually good. The best is, again, Leok. Oh, that's probably the worst now, isn't it? But we will once again punch 4 to face, and we still have a whole bunch of power on board, and a whole bunch of staying power, and we're going to be able to refill our hand now as well on this following turn. So our opponent's obviously playing some sort of just rampy, taunty druid, who's then hoping to be able to, and we're just going to avoid that and go face. We're going to hit this hero power for sure. I think we just, yeah, we have to ignore and just pound face. Oh, that was a complete misplay. Still not lethal, but still very embarrassing that I did that. I don't play Hunter a lot. But maybe that will change because this is a card. The swipe, that's not going to clear it. Yeah, that's not going to be enough, I don't think. Oh, that might be enough. We could be in real trouble right now, couldn't we? Dinomancy, is that enough to win the game? That's enough to set our opponent at 2, 4, 6. Oh, that is so embarrassing. We would have won the game there. Okay. How do we do this? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's fine. We'll do this. Very embarrassing what we just did here. But we will be able to refill our hand now and hopefully continue to push here. That would have been lethal there if we hadn't screwed up the, if we hadn't messed up that animal companion. That's a big oops, but our opponent realizes we had enough pressure. That was definitely a huge misplay, and I definitely don't deserve. If they had to swipe there, they probably would have been able to stabilize, and this game would have been way longer than we needed it to be. And this is looking like something that could be an awful mirror match for us. But I think we'll be able to somehow come out on top. We are going seconds. We have the coin and slight card advantage. That's potentially scary. Dinomancy is potentially excellent. We have a couple options here of going Crawler or Crackling Razor Maw. I kind of like this right here. This is going to be excellent to summoning the 2 extra minions. Hello? Thank you. No lag, please. So we want to pop that basically every time. I know this is still a beast, so our opponent will be able to do things in terms of buffing. But... oh, that's mean. That's very mean. So we have a couple of sad options here. We hope to get the 4/4. That's a pretty good option now. If our opponent hadn't been able to do something sweet like Grievous Bite, which is, 2 mana, deal 4, kind of board control-y. Interesting choice, interesting choice. We're now going to switch to either Dinomancy. Actually, I think we'll go Houndmaster at this point to continue the board pressure. Well, our opponent is just messing up all of our plans now, aren't they? We're going to go ahead and Tundra Rhino here. And just go face, because this is likely going to be more difficult for our opponent to deal with. At least we hope, at least that's the plan here, is that they won't be able to deal with this. Then we'll be able to Kindly Grandmother. That's not a beast, lucky for us. We're going to be able to now charge our Kindly Grandmother. Oh, that's... we have no way of dealing with this, just so everyone's clear. Well, now we do. Although it's still kind of an awful result. I think we just lose really, really hard the way this game played out. That Grievous Bite basically... yeah, that Grievous Bite, despite the fact that we got what I think was probably the best Death Rattle. Without that Grievous Bite, I think we would have been off to the races. We would have had Dinomancy out the following turn. And we would have completely dominated. But yeah, I mean, with the Savannah Hymen, there's nothing we can do. It's just, it's literally just a matter of time before we end up losing here. I don't even know if it's, I guess we do this. Simply so that it's going to be a little bit awkward for our opponent, but honestly, 11, 12, 13 face damage sets us at 13 again, so there's really no reason for them not to just go face. And it's not like I can actually remove much of our opponent's board right now. So this is looking like a pretty sad beatdown that we're going to be taking here. All on the backs of the fact that our opponent had Grievous Bite, I think, at the beginning, which was a little bit, gave them a little bit of extra control. And if you are actually paying attention, we did change our deck a little bit to include the Nesting Rock, which we're obviously not going to be able to remove right now, which is why you run this deck, or run that card. We'll play the Jeweled Macaw first. I mean, King Crush is a card. I mean, we're able to punch through here, but I still think this might very well be lethal here. At least 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't see how we're able to stabilize unless all of these are duds in our opponent's hand. That's going to be lethal then. And another Grievous Bite. Ooh, this is a card that I have not seen included, and we're seeing it used to great effect here, actually, to have a little bit of extra control from the hand in order to really set up the power that Hunter needs, that consistent face damage, which is what Hunter's basically always looking for. And I mean, now we'll just do this, you know, just because we know we've lost. But that's actually kind of interesting to see how quickly those Grievous Bites were really able to interact with the board, where we're playing basically just minion-based slow, hoping we curve out very smoothly. It's interesting how that worked, that difference. And this is obviously another mirror matchup as these hybrid... Oh, hello. That's potentially scary. We have these Scavenging Hyena top deck. Oh, that's too bad. We have literally nothing to do. We're going to go ahead and kill this just because we know there are so many beast buff mechanics right now available that we really, really don't want to have to run into any of them. And now one of the buffs on here is actually much worse. This is looking horrible for us right now, that's for sure. I did change the deck up a little. I added an Eagle's Bow. We removed one Infested Wolf. If that gets buffed with Houndmaster... Oh, we really, really need something good now. That's not anything good. We have to play the Houndmaster just for tempo, just as a 4-mana 4/3, which is obviously awful. But it's one of those things that has to be done, simply because otherwise we're going to lose. Oh. And this is looking awful. Oh, and a Fiery Bat. Wow, this is a much more aggressive deck list than what I have come to expect. Now, it's great that we have a whole bunch of 1-drops in our hand, but I think we're just going to lose, because at this point our opponent just goes face and doesn't care anymore. Like, at most our opponent should play a 3-drop and then just go face. Yeah. Anything is... There's so many great adapts right now from our opponent that they can get. Oh, Poisonous is great. If I was our opponent, I wouldn't even play anything else. I would just go Hero Power, just to make sure that, like, Hunter has no massive comeback mechanic. Not that, you know, the difference between 9 and 7 isn't really that significant, really. Like, there's nothing that we can do at this point. Maybe never say never. We can Unleash, I guess, but we're still going to be so far behind. We can Unleash. We kill command something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's nice to talk about like this. But these have gotten far too buffed. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 on board. Okay, everyone, that's going to be game. I just wanted to share a couple quick games. I definitely think this deck needs a little bit of refinement. I'm not sure that I like Scavenging Hyena. I know someone... I basically just copied this deck list. I've been slowly modifying it, but we need to make some changes. These have been short games. You know, let's keep going. Let's just keep going. Let's not... Okay, and we have found someone that is not playing Hunter today on the ladder at rank 5+ area. Gonna start off with more power. Jeweled Macaw is obviously, you know, a play. But at this point, I think it's going to be better to get something stronger out on board, much like here. We're going to go ahead and get the Sticky Kindly Grandmother. If we do top deck Dinomancy, we will coin it out right away, just to start getting that value going. Our opponent can just keep hero powering. If we're not able to get anything big out soon, we are going to be in a little bit of trouble. Battle Cry Adapt, that's okay, I guess. We're going to keep the Death Rattle alive, that's for sure. We don't want that to get popped, because part of the Hunter's power is definitely the ability to maintain these Death Rattle minions and have them continue to slowly peck away at our opponent's health total, as we try and win the game much more directly than I think the decks that I'm used to playing, and definitely the decks that I'm used to uploading. I mean, when I'm playing offline, it's usually those mid-rangey shaman decks, because it does let me climb faster and try and get to these ranks to have these more, I don't know if thoughtful, or I like the control style, mid-range style games anyways, where there is some of that thought process in the middle turns of what you're going to do and how you're going to manage your resources and things like that. So this turn, depending what happens, I'm very tempted to coin out the Nesting Rock. 4/7 taunt, pretty strong, especially at 5 mana here. That'll allow us on our real turn 5 to adapt the Hatchling. I think we really just want as much power on board as possible, and Nesting Rock lines up beautifully with a True Silver. The issue is, though, of course, that we now have lost our other minion. So we'll coin something out here that's not going to be easily removed. And we kind of keep our hand full, which is very nice. The scary thing is our opponent has played nothing. They have 7 cards in their hand, and they're only down to 26. So we haven't really been able to do too much damage, which is very unfortunate for us. Hey, what the heck? So we obviously have options here. I'd love to play our Nesting Rock, but then this simply trades with it, and then we're kind of still in an unfavorable. I mean, we're able to trade that way. It does force 4 to face, which I guess could be good. The other option is somehow fitting in a Hunter's Mark, but then the question is going to be, what else do we end up playing? We could adapt and see if we get poisonous, then we just trade this in and go face and hit him with that. I feel like there's going to be Aldors in hand, so the play of just throwing down the big minion, I'm much less in favor of. +3 attack, I guess. Oh, was there an option for Divine Shield? God, I'm awful sometimes at this game. We definitely want to do that, and we just want to punch face a little bit more. There was an option for Divine Shield. Wow, that's really, really bad of us. These misplays are really racking up in this video. I really shouldn't be doing that, and definitely shouldn't be uploading that. But I think the point of these videos for me is a learning process. That's a little bit of damage removed, but still kind of scary. We will be able to Alley Cat now into our own Nesting Rock, which is nice. Obviously heals a little, down to 20. That's not really enough for me, for my liking. We also have the option of Alley Cats, though, and Tundra Rhino, which I like actually a lot. I am going to attack in with one of the Alley Cats, though, to be honest with you, because I don't want this going to 4 health, because that's going to be a lot more likely to be able to be removed if there is another True Silver in hand. And this is actually very decent, because we're going to be able to kill command. But first, okay, now our opponent has way too many cards in hand. Oh my goodness. Is there lethal here? We're going to go ahead and look for poisonous. We will go with Wind Fury. And then we will kill command here. Charge this one in. Then punch face a whole bunch of times. Throw in another one that's going to go and punch face as we generate more cards. And we continue to hold on to our Tundra Rhino for this amazing charge that we have right now. And it looks like, I mean, our opponent can be healing up massively, right? This is going to die, obviously. The issue is our opponent might actually kind of be stabilizing unless we get some better minions. Okay, so this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do we feel about that, though? Because that's a lot of damage we're missing, right? We can do 4. Plus 5 is 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Set our opponent at 3, but that's obviously not good enough. So we're going to go with this. We will grab this taunt. We'll do a bit of face damage here. And clear the board. And now we have the taunt up, which is nice as well. Now, if our opponent now plays Tyrion, then we're kind of in trouble. But then we'll be able to run in a whole bunch of these things to hopefully be able to still punch through. And that's another taunt, which is unfortunate for us. Animal Companion could be great. That's pretty good. So that is 8 damage. Unless Infested is going to be better. 3, 4... Yeah, let's see how this goes. 3. Keep our minion alive. Push through this way. Got the opponent down to 1, which is pretty good. Unlikely to be able to clear and heal up. Although there could be some sorts of combinations of a taunt and healing. But I really doubt that it's going to be able to be a board clear and a... Oh my... Still a 4-1 alive. Oh my goodness. The madman did it. Scavenging Hyena. And we continue to punch face. Obviously, we would have loved to have seen a Savannah Highmane. And the funny thing is we have actually been able to keep up with our... With the card draw because of that Tolvir Warden. Oh, Hydrologist is actually awful, isn't it? Hydrologist can do actually really, really cool things. I really like this card in basically all Paladins right now. I expect that you have to play that, right? Oh, no! We just do this. It doesn't matter for us, right? Well, it's not eye for an eye, that's for sure. We could have punched through if we had done Unleash this turn, but I think we'll be okay. So that wasn't Repentance, and it's not eye for an eye. Very likely Getaway Kodo. That's going to likely be an Aldor, which is unfortunate. But I think we can be okay. It's going to be a whole bunch of trading. We could top deck. What can we top deck to actually get through here? Hey, that's not a card that you see very often. We've got some Unleash action. This is only 4-5. So we're definitely going to go this way. Into Noble Sack, that's honestly not the worst thing here. So all we need to do is be able to get 1 face damage through, and then we'll be okay. So our opponent's either going to have to kill us this turn from 22, which might maybe 7. Yeah, that's a big taunt, so we're going to have to draw something right now that's going to be a little helpful. We don't have another Tundra. If we had another Tundra Rhino, maybe we could have actually done this. I don't know what would even be possible for us right now. How do we want to do this? We need to somehow get 1 damage through these taunts. We're going to need all of these. Yeah, we can't pop either of these because then that's less attackers for us. So we'll do this first. We will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll do this. Then we'll get poisonous. Oh, sugar. Taunt, it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go this way. Obviously should have put the taunt on one of the big guys, but I was hoping it was... I figured the only way we were going to actually be able to win is if we had gotten poisonous and then been able to punch through with this last... Like, one of these had gone poisonous, then that one had gone to face. But that's okay. We're still having fun at rank 5 here, everyone. That's going to be it for this video. We've had a whole bunch of games, hopefully a whole bunch of learning, and there have been a bunch of misplays on my part just because I'm not used to some of the card interactions because I haven't played Hunter in a very, very long time. So if you're enjoying these videos and hopefully learning a little bit or just having a good time, feel free to hit that big old red subscribe button, especially if you made it to this point in the video. You might as well. We are going to try and push to Legend later on this season. Probably not with this deck, but maybe a more refined version, I think. So thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. Keep your stick on the ice.